Counting backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2. If it is Tuesday at 8 o'clock, it could mean only one thing, and that means it's time for us to be talking about how to make comic books. This is Comic Book School Live. My name is Buddy Scalera, and we are here to talk about the craft and business of making comics. I am a comic book writer with lots of experience, and I am joined by a writer who also has an amazing amount of experience, not necessarily writing comic books, but three-time Emmy Award winning screenwriter Mike Fasolo. Okay, Mike, so last week we covered, oh yeah, I love you too, Mike. You got it?
It's not working though.
The heart's not working?
That's disappointing.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. So, Mike, last week we decided that we were going to talk about Comics 101. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and we just thought, like, we rarely talk about the principles, right? Like we usually will interview other people, and we just thought, well, why don't we do something that's a little bit different? Oh, Mike, I guess you're the man of the hour.
That's me.
So this is part 2, Mike. So you'll have to be. Oh, it's Kevin. We haven't seen Kevin in a good long time. Let's give Kevin a round of applause just for joining us.
How you been, Kevin? Oh, you got a good friend.
Oh, there's Greg Orlando. Greg, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Fellow writer.
Hello.
So, Kevin was one of the people who cut his teeth here at Comic Book School, learning how to write during our anthology. So now the audience is just talking.
Everybody's
to each other.
talking amongst themselves.
They can talk amongst themselves. It's fine. The man of any hour. That's right, Mike. You are the man of any hour. Let's just go. That's correct.
Oh boy! Look at all these comments coming in. We've only been on for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and there are some new peeps. We do have some new peeps who are joining us. We've got lots of comments coming in. Mike, just bring them in. It's just going to be the same 3 people going over and over.
Oh, I guess she was talking about you before.
All right, something snarky. Gatillo is like, I'm just not energized enough to actually say something snarky, so I'll just say something snarky. The show can start once Gatillo's here.
Exactly.
So, Mike, this is part 2. I don't know how many parts in the series this will be, but I just want to give people a little bit of orientation. This is a bad slide. Somehow the YouTube logo is over the Basics series. I did not mean to do that. But this is part 2. So part 1 is on YouTube. And we did that. You can find that on YouTube. And what that'll do is it'll show you the page breakdown. We'll show you a little bit of that. And then we will dive right into it and talk a little bit about the plot breakdown. We have some new guests, Mike. I'm gonna pull this up here really quick. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna share a tab. For those of you who are not aware, we are indeed. Can you see that, Mike?
I can see that. It's very, very small and blurry, but yeah, I can see it.
No, can you see the Facebook page?
Let me blow up my thing.
Yeah. All right. So we have a Facebook community. People are having conversations in here. You see this person here, Melissa Sassy. Sassy? Is that her name, Mike?
Sure. Sounds right.
Is it Sassy or Sass?
I bet she's sassy
Isn't
sass.
she sassy? Anyway, met her. She's a friend of the show, Nelson DeCastro, who very, very talented artist and has worked with us many times in comic book school. You can go to Facebook groups.comicbookschool.com. I'll put it right there in the chat. And she said she was interested in what we were doing and thought, wow, I need to get more of this in my life. So if you're not part of the comic book school community, you should be. But that was when we decided, what do we want to do? Let's do part 2 of this, right, Mike?
Yes, part 2. Part 2 is good. Hopefully there'll be a lot more parts.
There'll be more parts, and you guys have to let us know what you like. So failing the, hold on, let me just fix this because it'll make me crazy. Just fill for a minute, Mike, while I fix that slide. It's going to make me a little crazy. What's going on in the comments there?
We got a lot of talk amongst themselves. We got, let's see, Kevin for Redheaded Ed. He's been around cutting his teeth on writing a full-length prose book based off Riley's journal. What's Riley's?
What does cutting your teeth mean, Mike? I mean, I feel like that there's probably like some
It's like when you bite the paper and then you drag it out. You got to cut your teeth like that.
Is that an actual adage or just some weird thing?
It's cutting your teeth. You know, you're starting out. That's how you get in.
Really?
Yeah. Like you cut your teeth on writing whatever your first comic was. That was like your first thing.
Really?
It's on Deadpool. Yeah.
All right.
I know things.
You know things? You know the things. Okay.
I don't know many things.
All right. So, Mike, our chatty community will be happy to know that I've just fixed the graphic. And that is...
Can you fix my heart thing? It's not working.
I don't know if I can do that. Okay. So I fixed the graphic. We're part of the basic series. Part 1 was last week. You can find it on YouTube. Full issue page breakdown. I'll show you a preview of that. And then we are going to go into the plot breakdown. And we're going to do something a little bit experimental tonight, Mike. We're going to do it live based on one of your own ideas, in which I gave you about 30 minutes to come up with an idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been done before. It probably has, but you know, it's a good idea to do a plot breakdown on it.
Yeah. How's my audio? Is it okay?
Your audio's okay.
It's all right. All right. Okay. So Comics 101 series. So just to give you guys a sense of where we are, like what is a plot? So last episode, we talked about a pitch, right? And we did the page breakdown. We did the page breakdown. Your story pitch or your one-page outline is what we're about to look at. And then we go into plotting. Now that is the flow of your story. A lot of people will do it in different ways. I like to do it the way I'm about to show you. Everybody has a slightly different way of doing things. Generally, you'll get some revisions from your editor. If you're working on Batman or Spider-Man or some major character, you're probably going to get more notes than if you're getting your own creator-owned property off the ground, right? Like you do what you want.
Like if you did a comic book on Buddy Scalera, nobody's going to give you notes on that.
They probably should. They'd be like, this story is just too incredible. So after the plot and the revisions to your plot, you'll turn in your script. That's a major submission. It does take a long time. We'll talk about what's involved with that in an upcoming episode, then your revisions, and then lettering. That is balloon placement for lettering. Mike, have you ever done balloon placement?
I have not done balloon placement, but we know somebody who has.
We certainly do, my friends. So this is, again, part of the Comic Book Writing 101 series, and that's what a plot is. So what did we do in the last episode, Mike? You want to take this over while I take a cool drink of water from my comic book school branded cup? How do I turn that?
Hey, merch. I don't have any merch like that.
I got merch.
So basically, we took a single issue and we broke it down on what exactly should be on each page with the splash page, the cliffhangers for each page, and then the final page, which if it's a continuing series has the big cliffhanger or the denouement to finish things up, the epilogue, as you would say.
Denouement.
That's going to be my new word. I might try to use that every single episode.
If you could slip that into conversation somewhere, like at the supermarket, that would actually be impressive.
This is my denouement, please.
And they're like, "Is that your last item?" You're like, "It is my denouement."
That's my denouement.
And they're like, oh. So it would be great if it was like French wine or something.
Yes.
Denouement. And my aperitif. So within this, Mike, we showed in the last episode how left and right pages are facing. So do you want to take us through this, since you are now an expert in this?
I am now an expert. The left and right facing pages, because of course we know how they're. Oh, look at that comic book wall. The left facing page, broken down into, let's say, 6 panels. The final page would have the cliffhanger, or the bottom panel would have the cliffhanger. So you can just follow it right up. But the right facing page would have the cliffhanger. So you know enough to turn the page.
Yeah. So this is a useful guide for writers. You can scale this as to whatever number of pages you want, all the way up to a 64 page, if that's what you want to do, or beyond. But the idea is that you want to know your left and right facing pages so that you know how that story flows. Always bottom right corner of the page, you want to leave some sort of cliffhanger that will make it imperative for the reader to want to turn that page. Also, if you're about to do a splash page, you can't do a splash page between page 3 and 4. Just won't work.
No,
so if you want to do a splash, 2-page splash, you're going to go 4 and 5. All right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, you will.
I guess that's the denouement of that page.
And there we go. Thank you very much.
All right. So that brings us to part 2. That is the plot breakdown. Very important step. And a step that I think, Mike, often you miss when you're writing, because you're a pantser, not a plotter, right?
Yes, I am a very, very pantsery.
All right. Can you explain the difference between pantsing and plotting?
Pantsing is you have a general idea of what you want. Like, you know that the character is going to go from here to here, and a few things are going to do along the way. And you just sit down and start writing. Yeah. And you hope that everything makes sense in your head and comes out on the page and makes sense. A plotter is going, I'm going to break it down and say, in Act 1, we're going to have this, this, and this. Act 2, this, this, and this. And then you can go further, and then you break down those 3 little other plots to say, okay, in Act 1, Scene 1, we're going to do this. Act 1, Scene 2, this is what's going to happen. Giving you just a little bit of information. So when you sit down to write, it's not just flowing off of your head. You actually know what's happening beforehand.
Okay. So advantages of pantsing, advantages of plotting. Just talk to me for a second.
Advantages of pantsing, at least in my opinion, is that it's more fun to me. It's like, oh, you hit maybe a roadblock and you're like, how do I get out of this? And then you can just think about it and be like, oh, this works, or this works. I can try this. Plotting is, you're like, oh, I'm going to put a roadblock in here, and this is how I'm going to get out of it. So you know exactly step by step what's going to happen.
So, they both have advantages. I do admit I like to plot. I do, though, admit that I also modify during the writing period. We had Lisa Hawkins on where I did the Valiant issue, and there was a not so subtle moment where we didn't get into it, but I did do the plot breakdown the way she said, and then I started writing, and I was like, I got a better way to do this.
I'm changing this.
So she wrote back to me. She goes, I thought we agreed on. I was like, yeah, but there's this thing. Is it better? And she was like, doesn't matter if it's better. This is what we agreed to.
This is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing. So it depends on the way you're working. Like if you're doing a monthly comic, you're going to have a different relationship as opposed to something that I was doing with Lisa, which was a one shot. Lisa was working off of an anthology where this fit into other stories. So hence I sort of broke the cardinal rule of what you promise to deliver, you're supposed to deliver. Not recommended.
Yeah. You were like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Oh, Mike, someone just, I think just spoke to you in another language. Why don't you pull that up?
Is that
so it's something from, I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Mike. I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Appreciation
if I read that right. Appreciate
with
Buenos Aires.
Desde Buenos Aires, Argentina.
If only we had a magical tool that could translate anything.
I have to tell you, this year, I think I told you at the beginning of the year, one of my life goals was to learn how to hablar en español.
Uh-huh.
But due to the fact that life happened, I was unable to learn Espanol properly. I cannot read that. So what does this one say?
Pantsing is how we end up with Colonel Ty being a Cylon. Yes, that could be
Yes, that is very true because even I didn't believe that twist.
it.
Battlestar Galactica reference. By the way, Mike, I do admit that once or twice I've done some pantsing where I wrote something literally at the end of an issue. There was an issue of Apocalypse Boulevard where I wrote the end, and I went, I have no idea how I'm going to resolve this.
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it takes a little time to work the gears out, the problem.
Yeah. So we are not alone in doing this, but so here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna pull this up. I'm gonna present. Hold on. How do we do this? No. How do I? No. Wait. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So Mike, we're doing our plot breakdown. So you were kind enough to. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of text.
You didn't read this yet?
No, I didn't. You sent it to me 7 minutes ago as I'm setting up slides.
Oh, you're gonna hate it.
So imagine this is a 3-issue miniseries, Mike. You've just pitched the Batman editor. What did Gatilla say?
I think you need a roadmap, if only to throw it out while writing, which is I can kind of see that. So Captain says, learning with Mike from Buenos Aires. Yes, there you go.
Thank you from Buenos Aires. We're happy to have you.
Thank you, Captain.
All right, Mike. So this exceedingly long, overly wordy story idea gets accepted as a 3-issue miniseries. We're going to think about a breaking point for this, for our plotting example. But just give us, without reading it word for word, give us the overview. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, the overview is basically Batman is thrown back in time by one of his villains. And it's just about 6 months before his actual parents are going to be killed, making him Batman. And he gets involved with them, trying to keep them safe, trying to get to know them. And then at the end, it becomes a question of, does he save them, stopping Batman from being, created, or does he let it happen? So, because the world needs Batman. So does he let it happen and know that all the torture that little kid is going to go through just to get Batman in?
So Mike served this to me because he knows how much I dislike time travel stories.
Well, it only has a tiny bit of time travel just to start it off.
And also going in time travel to change the past to alter the future. You know how much I love that. That is,
well, there's many different ways of doing that. Does it alter the future? Does it create an alternate timeline? There's many questions. It's not all one cut and dry way to go.
Yes. And despite the fact that I do adore the Terminator movies, I'm generally not a fan of time travel, but this one, I think you did a good job with this. Now, Mike, put it out to the audience right now. Just type it in there. What villain should we use who could possibly pull off this time machine? Because it looks like you did not identify a villain. Let's ask the audience what they think from the Batman villains. Now, when this villain goes back in time, will this villain be Bruce Wayne's age?
Oh no, the villain doesn't go back. Bruce goes back. The villain sends Bruce back because he's like, hey, if Batman's not here to stop me, then I can
wait. Oh, I thought the villain was going to go back.
No, the villain goes back, and then Bruce Wayne, Batman, can either stop his parents from being killed or kind of let it happen. It's a dilemma. What does he do?
So does Bruce return to the night in the alley at the same age?
No, he goes. It's about 6 months before the incident in the alley, and this is how he goes back there, and he's like, oh, I can stop it, but he's trying to figure out, should he not? So he gets close to the family, which also allows him to get to know his parents, who he never got to know as a child.
Oh, so yeah. So that's a
little heartfelt story.
Okay, that's different than what I was thinking, which was more interesting than that painfully dull thing that you just described. So Like, what are you going to walk the dog? What's he going to do? Like, oh, let's get to know each other for 6 months. Why don't we drop him right into Crime Alley at the moment before the shooting where he thinks he's going to go back 6 months and he lands in the wrong time. And that's where we have the sort of cliffhanger in the first issue.
Okay,
right?
but then the problem with that is he either stops him or he doesn't, and then it's done. He stops the guy from killing his parents, and where's the rest of the story? Or he lets the parents die, and then we all know what the rest of the story is.
Listen to me, young man. These are comic books. They're easy fixes. Let me tell you the easy fix. You tell me if you like the easy fix.
I don't like it already, but go ahead.
We take him to Crime Alley. The last page of the cliffhanger is Joe Chill is pulling out the gun. He's pulling the trigger. Bruce realizes he went far back enough. He didn't go back far enough. He's like, nah. And then we end. But what ends up happening is that the time loop catches up in the second issue, and he does get shot back 6 months, completely disoriented, but doesn't know why he's there.
Well, I kind of like the idea of him not knowing why he's there, but I don't like the double time jump because there's no reason.
But all right, it's fine. Never double time jump. But talk about like you've got this. What are you going to go back to? A bucolic, like comfortable life where his father's wearing a smoking jacket? I mean,
yeah, he's got to get to know the Waynes. He's got to get to know his parents.
This is not a prose novel.
No, it's not. But it's interesting because he never knew his parents. He's got to be like, oh, now I can find out what my father's favorite color is.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
How do you make jumping back 6 months before the inciting incident of Batman, the definitive incident of Batman, interesting? Like what of that is interesting?
Because what does he do? He has 6 months to plan, to either go, okay, I have 6 months to figure out how to get them out of the alley. I have 6 months how to figure out how to find and.
So you've taken a ticking clock and turned it into a ticking calendar.
You need the time.
There's no urgency.
Well, but see, you can't just go back and say, okay, he's going to stop him or he's not right at that moment. First of all, I think that moment.
Hey, Dad, I don't want to go see Zorro. That's it. It's over. I don't want to go see Zorro. That's it. We don't go to Crime Alley. We don't take a shortcut.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And if you do that, then the story's done. Oh, okay. I stopped Batman from being born.
Well, let's see what Greg Orlando wrote. Greg Orlando knows a lot about video games.
That is an excellent plot point.
I'm 80% sure that I'm sorry we pulled that up. Greg, you never disappoint.
I like that idea, Greg.
Greg never disappoints. Buenos Aires, I hope you're enjoying that. Okay, come on, Mike. How do you make this interesting? You got something here.
See, I think it's interesting that he's going to get to know his parents. And look, I'm not saying that they sit down in smoking jackets and all they do is he gets to know his parents. And even at one point he can talk to his father, or his father can find out and be like, look, in an alternate future or in the future, I'm Batman and I become Batman because you were killed in this alley.
All right. Gatilla just pulled something up. Let's see what Gatilla has to say.
What if he goes back in time and it's not a random thug, but Dr. Zoidberg from the future? He would kill him. He would.
Gatilla just he must be on a drip feed of pop culture, like at all times.
The Batman origin, yes, has been done a bazillion times, but we've never gotten to know Batman's parents.
Yeah, but okay, so what? So you're spending $3.99 per issue for a 3-issue miniseries. First, think about your cliffhanger that will get you to this point where he completes this, and then they absolutely have to run for the second issue. What are you giving me? Hey, I'm in the house, everybody. Woo.
I'm in the house.
Hey, let's get to know each other.
Hey, look, I just knocked on your door. I'm here for
Hey, did you do your homework, Bruce? No, I didn't do my homework yet.
Let's see what Redheaded Ed said. I think it would be interesting if he doesn't like them and then realizes they are his parents and he has to deal with it, not who he thought they were. Interesting. Could be. Could be.
Redheaded Ed with some family issues. She just showed her cards and we're like, whoa. All right, go ahead. It looks like Gatilla's got another
It's
one.
yes, and make it Ayn Rand loving billionaires.
All right, there you go. They could be
Or they could
Ayn
be.
Rand. And I'm glad you pronounced Ayn correctly, Mike. That's very good of you to
That's
do
what I
with
do.
Atlas Shrugged and Foundation. Okay, not Foundation. Is it Foundation? Atlas Shrugged and something else. I don't know. Okay.
Atlas Shrugged.
All right. So I've accepted your story, but I have not accepted a cliffhanger. Give me a cliffhanger, and we're going to start the plot.
Well, the cliffhanger is he's going to be back there. He can stop his parents from being killed. He has 6 months to figure it out. He ends up, we'll say he ends up in front of Wayne Manor, and he knows, what does he do? What's his question? What does he do?
Are there two Bruces that exist in the same time?
Well, there's a little Bruce, little 10-year-old Bruce, or whoever he was when his parents got killed, and the old Bruce from the future.
So the old Bruce from the current Bruce shows up, and little Bruce is there.
Yes.
Okay. So he now has 6 months to do what?
He has 6 months to figure out, should he stop his parents from being killed?
What?
Because if you go with just a straight timeline, if he stops his parents from being killed, he never becomes Batman.
What's the choice?
The world needs Batman.
Oh, let my parents die because the world will need Batman. Okay, they've got Superman.
Well, what if stopping his parents from being killed alters the timeline enough so there is no Superman? See, this is why I didn't want to give you a time travel one, even though you said, give me a time travel one.
All right. But I need you to just give me the cliffhanger ending, because that's how we're going to start.
The cliffhanger at issue 1, or the
cliffhanger ending at issue 1 that will make me say, my goodness, I must get this.
But see, I'm talking to somebody who doesn't like the idea of a time travel.
I love time travel. I love Terminator. I just don't like I don't like stupid time travel. Or, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing. It's like, here's what I like about your time travel. Time travel that says, I'm going to go back in time and kill Hitler in the crib. Number one, you're going to kill a baby, right? Right? Wrap your head around that, right? Or I'm going to kill Hitler. I think what you're showing here is somebody who's like, I'm going to do something for me. I've got this one chance, and it's about me, right? I'm going to go back and stop the Lincoln shooting. No, he's like, I'm going to do something for me. What does that say about his psyche? I don't know, but it's more believable that you'd go back and do something for yourself.
Okay, go back and save his parents. Now, if we're going the straight one-off timeline, that conflicts with the grandfather paradox, because if he stops his parents from being killed, he never becomes Batman, which means he can never go back in time to stop his parents from being killed.
Listen, young man, you don't have to solve the whole thing. You can still pants your way through this. All you need to do is give me a cliffhanger, and let's start with that. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up. You look at what our charming audience has to say. Okay.
See, I think my cliffhanger works, as in the end of issue 1.
That's okay. That's okay. We're going to work with it. But the point is the exercise, and the exercise is, we're going to figure out how to do this. So you got your sample story. It's been approved. You need to go and think about how you break this down to 3 issues, 1, 2, 3, with denouement and epilogue, all good. So it looks like you've got what you need here. So what we're about to go into, Mike, is Microsoft Word. And basically, this is just a screenshot of what I've done. It's not exactly like anybody can't replicate it. There is nothing proprietary about this. Feel free to copy. So what I'm going to do is now literally open up Microsoft Word, and we are going to comic plot template. Okay.
We ever put that one up?
Okay, so Mike, let's start. Okay, so Gatilla's got a comment.
It's all possible. It's all possible.
All right, so here you go. You ready to work with me now?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know if I want to work with you anymore.
It's too late. Okay, so we've broken down page 20 cliffhanger. Okay, so Start with the end in mind. Okay, so where are we going to end? Our cliffhanger is what?
My cliffhanger is he's in front of Wayne Manor. We all know it's Wayne Manor, and it could be his father opens the door. Can I help you?
What's Bruce's father's name?
Thomas Wayne.
Okay, right there you go. Okay, so you've gone to page 20. Now let's just work backwards and say, what are we going to do to lead to 20? What are we doing on 18, 19? Let's say he lands here. Okay, he arrives in the past around 17 because we have to set up what's happening and how he gets there. All right, let's just say he arrives in past. We'll set up how he gets there. What does he do in page 18 and 19?
Well, he's got to figure
facing
out
pages. Facing pages.
He's got to figure out where he is.
Arrives in past, but we have to go like this and then reorient. Okay, now he has to reorient. The Gotham City of his youth is from his memory. It's not the Gotham City of today.
Yes.
So he's got to find his way to the manor, right?
Yes. He's got to figure out where he is.
Does he arrive with money? Modern money won't work, right?
Modern money won't work.
Credit cards don't work.
He'll have the clothes on his back. Oh, actually, he'll be in Batman costume. Oh, so he's got to find some clothes.
Okay, so we're going to say
maybe he'll have to mug somebody. And
imperative, get to manor, be in Batman costume. Do you want to do a twist? You do the.
What do you mean? Like he knocks somebody out to get their clothes? Although, yeah, he could steal stuff. Or
he steals stuff, right? He's a master, whatever.
He can steal stuff.
He has no. I don't think Batman would be like, oh, I cannot steal anything, so I have to walk around with this giant black leather. And, right. He's okay. So what's at 19? Now he has to figure out what.
He's got to figure out what to do. He's going to have to try to find a way to get back.
So any Easter eggs? Does he meet anybody along the path who might be part of the Bat universe? A little Easter egg in there.
You could throw little things in there, like he meets. Was Commissioner Gordon? He was a cop at the time. Maybe he asks him for directions or something, or if he's sleeping on a bench trying to rest a little bit, and Officer Gordon could be like, "Hey, you can't sleep here."
Okay, so we're remembering this is fan service, okay? Okay.
That's a possibility.
Wow. Who is Psycho Phipps? I got to tell you, who is Psycho Phipps? I like the way you think.
Yeah, I mean, but see, then you run into Batman's own, moral dilemma that he's not going to kill anybody.
Listen, I'm all I'm saying is I like the way Psycho Phipps thinks. Okay, that's so reorient. You must get into reorientation mode. Oops. Let's go back. Oh, I'm in the Word document. Reorientation. Okay. So you agree 17, 18, 19, and 20 sort of get you to the tension building of the cliffhanger.
Yes.
We can always fix it.
We can always fix it.
All right.
See, it's funny to me because I wouldn't plot it like this. I would be like, I would start it on page 1.
Now you could start it on page 1. Tell me where you're going to go.
I would have the
block
huge,
out what you would need. And now remember, you're going to have to stitch in a hint of a subplot at around 7, 8, and 9 that your B story.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
tell me what you want to do in page 1.
Big splash page of Batman fighting. Who would be a good villain? Toyman? No.
Who?
Toyman?
Toyman?
We need somebody who can.
You said a good villain, and then you said Toyman. That just seems like a disconnect.
No, I said Toyman first. I'm trying to think of a villain who would have a time travel.
Kronos?
Who's Kronos?
He's a villain who has time travel, and also you have Kronos.
Is he a real villain, or did you just make him?
He's actually a hero, but interesting to note that the Atom, despite being able to shrink really small, lots of stories about time travel. Melissa Sass. Oh, this is Melissa Sassy, Mike.
Hey, Melissa Sass.
Yeah, this is. Let's give Melissa a round of applause. Her first time here on the show. Everybody, give her a round of applause.
Is Sass or Sassy?
I don't know if it's Sass or Sassy. Melissa, you're just going to have to put the phonetics.
We need the phonetics.
Phonetic of your name in there. Okay. So what did she say, actually? I didn't even read it. I just saw it was Melissa.
She said, should the person he meets be part of a subplot later? Could be.
Could be a twist that changes. Sassy. All right. Thank you, Sassy. All right. So Sassy says, would the B plot, subplot, be instrumental later? Subplots should always be instrumental. They should always matter, particularly in a limited series. If you have a subplot that doesn't go anywhere, you've just wasted pages, right? If you're writing an ongoing series, it's a different story. Okay, so the Atom, also a superhero, Kronos, also a superhero, are people who've been involved in time travel, but Kronos is the most well-known time travel. Is he fighting Kronos, or is he teamed up with Kronos fighting somebody else?
Well, personally, I've never heard of Kronos. I don't know who or what he is. Is he a Batman villain? Is he in that realm?
So let's just say fighting, or let's say fighting or teaming up with time travel character. If you had more than 20 minutes to come up with the story idea, you would have probably come up with a character. Okay. So what happens in page 2? We open up on a splash. We've got Mike Fasolo name credits. Everybody's excited about that. What happens on page 2?
Page 2, more fighting. We can have Kronos or whoever he's fighting be on the brink of losing.
Okay, so someone's on the brink. Batman and or team up on the brink of losing. Okay, this is great. Page 3 creates that imperative for the page term. Read it what Psycho Phipps said.
The tension of his nature is what makes it a hit, and how Bruce knows he has to become Batman, and he saves the world a gazillion times, and that won't happen if Batman isn't there to do it. Thank you, Psycho.
Thank you, Psycho. Actually, I put up Psycho's. I think you didn't.
That could be an interesting one.
You go back one to Psycho's. Pronounce it the right way. Gazillion.
Gazillion.
Yeah, put the hyphen in there. All right. So what did Greg? He has to choose to save his parents and doom the world or destroy his own childhood.
See, Psycho gets me. Psycho gets me.
All right. So keep going. Here's the twist.
Batman this is an interesting one too, because Batman could go back and say like a dead man, just an incorporeal.
We'll have to ask Sassy.
Out of time.
Sassy will tell us. Kronos.
Sassy. Dr. Octagon power punches a hole through time with a special new adaptation. Sure. I don't know who Dr. Octagon is, but
is Dr. Octagon a real character? But if not, it's a high time to do this. All right. So let's go with what Sassy says. So we're gonna say
call him Doc Ock for short because that's Spider-Man.
Doctor, what is it?
Octagon.
Because Sassy was just watching like UFC fighting.
His time travels in eights.
Losing to Dr. Octagon. I'm going to make this consistent. Okay, so we have this brink of the moment.
No,
now, what happens in 4 and 5? Like what's happening? Does
first
Octagon
of all,
give him a choice?
In 3, Dr. Octagon has to be on the brink of losing. That's when he unleashes.
Octagon is on the brink of losing,
yes.
Or Batman is?
Dr. Octagon. Because that's when he has to unleash his his final weapon. Oh, you villain, you heroes made me do this. And he punches the code in like the end of Predator.
Okay, so now he's on the verge of losing. So he does a desperate times call for desperate measures. What happens on page 4?
He does
Did
whatever
she
he
say
does.
he punched a hole through time? Pull up Sassy's comment.
He's going to punch a hole through time.
Okay.
So he's got this special new adaptation. He does the Predator punching in the code. Oh, see, this is where your plotting earlier of getting in this there at 17 is going to throw me off.
It's okay. Do you know what this is? This is Microsoft Word. It's not drawn yet.
It's not?
It's not drawn.
I thought this was
the advantage.
I thought this was being drawn as we were talking about it.
That's right. Okay. So reveal of new special weapon.
Okay.
Oh, Dr. Stupendous. That's a character that's created by Ari Rubin and Ariel Lupkin for Comic Book School. So that was just an inside joke, Mike. A little inside joke there, friends.
Okay. So
I'm gonna pull on my Perry White. All right, kid. You just shown a new weapon. What happens on page 5 that makes me want to continue on with this story? Nice.
That's pretty good. He sounds like he has
it's not bad, right? It sounds like my grandfather, actually. By the way, I should note, Mike, I haven't shaved since the last episode. This is a whole week of growth.
That's an extra week of growth.
It's 1 full week of hair growth.
You can see it a little better, just a smidge better.
I'm like a 6-month-old baby with this.
I shaved yesterday.
You shaved as the credits were playing. You were shaving. All right. So, give it to me now. So, page 5, Mike. What do you do?
Okay. So, page 5, he reveals the weapon. It's going to cause some massive explosion or do something that the heroes don't know. Batman, being Batman, dives to save somebody or to cover him up or to contain the explosion. The octagon.
I'm typing. You read it out. I can't see it.
Okay. He's a math genius villain who uses the octagon shape in his laser gun. Sure.
You know what? Here's the thing. Sassy's now bending the story. Sassy's a mathematician, so already Sassy's like, oh, it's a mathematician.
So we're gonna have to.
Oh, he does algebra.
Not a dinosaur. No, he's not a dinosaur.
Gatilla. I want to just do a story just with Gatilla's ideas.
Let's do this one
night just with Gatilla. Gatilla talks, we type. Okay, so does he survive? Okay, 6, 7 facing pages. What are we doing? Remember now, we're in the meat of it.
Okay, 6, 7. We have him. We can do one of those weird Doctor Who kind of time travel warpy things. What's happening? People are stretching. Times are changing. We're seeing weird things. Oh boy, Greg doesn't like algebra. Okay. Algebra is loser talk for losers.
I actually just put it in there. I'm going to be sure to include math, and I'm putting math in quotations because who knows if math is really real, Mike?
Is math real?
It's really math. Okay, so 6 and 7. Do you want to stretch this out into a 2-page spread, or
we could do a spread? A spread would be kind of neat if it's pretty awesome.
All right,
it depends on who's drawing it.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go like this. We're going to do a little trick, and we're going to say page 6 and 7.
Splash page.
2-page spread. Rock this. Okay. Weird time warpy thing. Be sure to include math. Now, what kinds of things should be in this weird warpy thing? Like it's like.
We should probably see some math.
Okay, so all timelines are now in same warp thing. Include dinosaur.
Atomic Robo.
So they're going to include we're going to include the Gatillasaurus.
Of course, he will be there. Obviously, that could be the dinosaur in the Batcave eventually.
That's right, but in this case, it's the Gatillasaurus, dinosaur for the win. Thank you. I think. Okay,
so what FTW meant
for the win. Okay, now let me make a recommendation. 8 and 9, we end this on complete uncertainty on page 8, and then page 9, you begin your a little subplot.
Okay.
Now, the reason for this is because you need to close that moment. All right. So what happens at the closure of the warp? Does Batman just end on the ground in his costume? He's just sort of smoking. We don't kind of know where he is. What happens?
That's good. I like that. We can have him in, whatever the Central Park of Gotham Park is. And if we're introducing, Officer Gordon, he could be the one that finds him. Nice costume, weirdo.
Subplot. Okay, so what's the subplot? A little teaser. Is it in modern time, or does it happen during that time?
What do you mean?
Does it happen in the past where Batman has now landed? Do you want to throw Gordon in now?
Yeah. Meet Gordon when he's younger.
Does Gordon hear a call?
No, I think he's just doing his regular patrol beat. A super smart TV accidentally scientists genetically cloned him from a fossil, and he makes his own weapons. Wow, that's complicated.
Sassy and Gatilla are just going to work on something together, and
yeah.
Greg and Gatilla were just going to put in jokes and ideas. All right, so subplot. So what do we want to say about Gordon? How about this? Just hear me out. So what if we made something at stake for Gordon, right? Gordon's getting chewed out. Gordon might lose his job. Gordon screwed something up, right? There's a subplot. Does Gordon have to make good? And will the make good be this moment? What I'm saying is there needs to be something. Maybe Gordon's thinking about quitting at this moment. Because he's a hothead. What do we want to do with Gordon just in this subplot?
See, subplotting. Thinking about it in the moment. This is where my brain goes.
Okay, how about we just do this? So subplot, let me pull up the screen. Subplot. Do you agree? Something to learn about Gordon. Not sure what, but this is subplot that will pull the thread together later. Good?
How many words do you type a minute?
Not as many as you. Am I too slow?
No, just wondering.
All right, so page 9. Okay, facing pages. Okay, now just giving you a sense of where you are. Okay, we've already said now he's arrived in past reorientation. We've already done that.
Take it out. We can move. Yeah, we have moved reorientation up to 9 and 10.
Okay, so 10. Okay, hold on.
So not 10 is the right facing page. Yes.
Okay. So what are we doing here on page 10 and 11?
Well, reorientation. He's got to figure out where he is, what's happening.
All right, hold on. Let me just do something real quick, because I want to kind of bring us back to window, Chrome tab, window, yes. Fire screen, window. Okay, just give me a second, Mike. There you go. Okay.
1.
Let's go back. Okay, here's where we are. We're right at the midpoint of the story. 10 is a left-facing page. So you've come this far, and you could always reorganize. This is just your first draft of your plot breakdown, so you know where you're going. So now 10, 11. If this is your sort of leading rising tension and cliffhanger, you want to keep 18, 19, 20 as rising action cliffhanger, because you want to end 20 on a full page splash as well. Right? Or, 2 or 3 panels at most. So you're at 10 and 11. Where do we want to go? Daniel St. John.
Who's Daniel St. John?
I don't know, but that was pretty funny. Okay, so Mike, give me something here. So you're at 10 and 11. What do you want to do?
Well, see, in my 10 and 11, he would be he's got to get his clothes. He's got to find out where he is, figure out what happened. Now that he's got to realize he's back, 30 years or however old Batman is.
All right. So we come back over here. So page 10 and 11, he's reorienting, right?
Yes. Oh,
now we need to add some
that was broken down and
reorientation. Did I spell that right?
Looks good.
It wants me to do the French version. Reorientation. I don't know. Does that sound French? I can't do a French.
Does it want the hyphen in it?
It's looking for the
reorientation. Okay.
So reorientation. So he arrives in the past. He does reorientation in page 11. He's still reorienting. Now what happens on 12 and 13?
Oh,
well, look at that twist.
Yeah, that's true. Could be.
Is he discorporeal or is he deteriorating?
Deteriorating. Incorporeal.
Incorporeal. I don't even know if is it a word? Like forgetting or losing bodily function.
I know corporeal is a word.
Corporeal is definitely a word.
So incorporeal would be a word as well, I guess.
I hear the hounds from hell barking in the background.
One of the dogs is barking.
Someone's in the doghouse. Okay. All right. I give you 10 and 11 to reorient. You throw a little fan service in there, things in the background, whatever it is.
Well, then you can go with 12, and you're going to hate this, but just say he lands in a diner, but he will hate this, and has to figure out what to do. He can't get back home. He has no idea how to get back home. He's drinking his coffee in the diner, trying to figure it all out.
Okay, goes to a diner.
And he, realizes, oh, this is 6 months before my parents are killed. Greg says incorporeal is a word, and he knows because he is a professional on the internet.
Okay, so we established you realize that the day.
It is.
That, my friends, is a lesson in vocabulary. Okay, so page 12, we go to the dullest possible location, which is a diner.
Oh, that's right. You hate diners.
It's terrible. It's
but it fits in here. Because
why can't he be on like a cable car? Why can't he be riding with hobos on a train?
Okay. Well, do they have cable cars in Gotham?
As far as you know, why not?
Then take out the diner and put him on a cable car.
Okay.
Because of course he would have plenty of money to spend on the cable car.
Okay. So I write here, we're going to try and do something mildly interesting, not a diner. He's going to try and figure it out. Okay. So 12 and 13, what are we doing? So now he realizes he's 6 months. Now 13, what is he going to do?
That's going to be his dilemma.
See, Redheaded Ed is with you. She loves the trope. I love it.
No, Glenn. He found some clothes. He found
some clothes. Okay, so page 13. We're running out of time here, Mike. We're almost at an hour.
Now, yeah, he's got 6 months. What does he do? He's got to think about it. What does he do? Do I stop him? Do I let it happen?
Okay, so in a visual medium and for action, Batman thinks and has an internal monologue. Okay, yeah, I can see how this is. But you're on page 13, right? You've already sold them the issue. The trick is to get them on page 20 to feel like they have to buy the next issue. So you're allowed to have a soft middle, like me, Mike. I have a soft middle. It's soft and squishy like a Gund bear. Okay, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Ooh,
And then
that's a
that's
lot of
it.
pages to go. But see, now to
So you got to
me,
leave a little. You got to leave a little bit of space
you
for
also have to
rising
leave a
tension.
little bit of padding because when you're doing this, these pages are not going to be exactly these pages.
They're not going to be exactly these pages. 100%.
No.
You just have to say more or less. You're just sort of blocking out thematic pacing on this. Now, do you want to go 14 and 15 with Gordon for a little bit of subplot elusa?
Well, I mean, if we're going to keep Gordon in here, then Gordon could be in the diner. But I think throwing in suddenly, oh, we're going to follow Commissioner Gordon or, Cop
But all
Gordon.
right, do you end 13 by having Gordon say, no loitering in the diner or in the cable car or wherever he happens to be? Is Gordon like, I saw you in the park, now I see you here, no loitering?
No, because I wouldn't bring him back. I would have, when Gordon is there to see Batman, that's when, hey, no loitering, get out of the park, or in the cable car, but not, oh, I saw you here and now you're here, bringing it back again.
All right, just give me something for 14, 15, 16, and 17. Remember, visual medium. Do we have any action? Is there anything that has to happen? Does he stop a crime? Does he?
Oh, see, that's good. He could see a crime going on, and being Bruce Wayne, he could stop it. See,
Crime,
if they were in a diner, there could be a crime in the diner.
fights crime, does hero thing as a citizen. Because at this point, there's not really any masked heroes in Gotham, right?
Blends into the shadows so he doesn't get caught.
Okay.
Or if you do want to include Gordon, Gordon could be the cop that comes in, is taking all statements.
I like it. Gordon takes citizen Bruce's statement. Does he buy him a cup of coffee?
Gordon is suspicious and now following him. That could be interesting.
I like that. Let's go with that. Gordon suspicious of this guy Bruce, who has a Netflix account. All right. Suspicious of this guy named Bruce. Okay, so we've got Gordon takes the Bruce's statement. Gordon's suspicious of this guy. Now, remember, we have to get him to the manor.
Yes.
Where's his costume?
He hid it somewhere. He stowed it under a rock in Gotham Park.
Get to the manor. So he has to get to the manor.
He's going to the manor to see his parents. Yes.
Okay. Then he gets to the manor. He gets the directions from Police Officer Gordon.
Well, he wouldn't really need to get directions because he knows where it is. It is
maybe some other Easter egg, page 19. And then page 20, cliffhanger, still hangs in there. Adult Bruce in front of Wayne Manor, front door. Thomas Wayne is opening front door. Can I help you? Mike, I just want to say, congratulations on plotting a Batman story. What do you think so far?
It needs some tweaking, but I think generally it's a good start.
Right. It's a good start. And what it does is it kind of gives you a sense of the pacing. It gives the artist something that's fun to draw, right? We end on a good cliffhanger. So we're going to say full splash cliffhanger. Oops. And that, my friend, is plotting your first story. And now everything you do will be escalating the action that you've outlined here.
Where's my paycheck?
Your paycheck is in the mail. Hold on. Oh, and there are your royalties as well. All right. So I think the audience definitely helped. We have a Gatilosaurus, and actually the help of the dinosaur that he sees might be in the Museum of Gotham or something, right? Like there's a penny and, whatever. There are things under a rock in Gotham Park. Why not?
Why not?
No paper bag. Gothman Park.
His costume.
Well, go back to Gatilla. Is Gothman Park a new location in
That
Gotham
back
City?
30 years ago, it was called
It's called
Gotham.
Gothman. Black eyeliner, raccoon eyeliner. Yes, it was. So, okay. So, Mike, it feels like we've gotten our plot down. And you know what? We should thank our audience for playing along with us. They really did an excellent job with vocabulary words, ideas about math. We have to welcome Sassy to the club. We're glad to see Greg come along. Gatilla continues to just pop culture us. Redheaded Ed is joining us again. What is that noise?
Sorry, that's my father calling.
You didn't mute?
If I mute that, then I couldn't be able to hear you.
Oh, all right, Mike. So real quick. So next show, what we will do, let's go back to this, share screen.
We should be able to have this drawn by next week, right? We can just show it.
Yeah, it's almost done. All right. So in part one, we last episode, go back and watch it. We talk a little bit about how you break it down, where the subplots come in. We can even go back and look at how closely we adhered to this. But for the final page, we knew that we had to end on a cliffhanger. That is on YouTube. In this part, the plot breakdown, people should screenshot this, read it carefully, and next week come up with some ideas. Because, Mike, next week we're going to get into some of the details of the scripting of this, and we're going to review the script that you write.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, now this is your professional writer, 3-time Emmy Award-winning writer of things, and let's face it, no one else can say they've done the thing here. For truth, for those of you who are not aware, Mike is indeed a 3-time Emmy Award-winning writer, and that is one mad mustache, Mike.
I thought it was pretty good.
Usually I got to tell you, so for Movember, we're going to both grow mustaches, right?
Absolutely. I will shave completely at the end of October, and then we'll do a mustache thing for November.
Yeah, and I should tell you that that really that's a good look for you. I'm not kidding. It is a good look.
Yes. Well, it definitely has to be dyed because this is what it usually looks like.
Okay, so I think you have a great outline as your editor. I think you've done a great job. We did a page outline. If you guys like this, tell us what you think, and please join us next week when we do some of the scripting stuff. Oh, hold on. Let me go back just so we have some context of what's coming next. So we'll be doing some revisions. You'll have a chance to look at your revisions, decide if you wanted to make any tweaks to your plot. We'll look at it one more time, and then we'll start to look at the script and then some revisions against that, and we'll get into balloon placement for lettering. What is that? Does that feel good to you?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, is this gonna this is gonna have to be like a 3-issue series, though?
Yes. Yeah, but we'll make up something a few minutes before we go live next week, just like we did tonight.
Yes, exactly.
And I will make slides, and we'll figure it out. But more than anything, you're what?
Dreadnoks from G.I. Joe.
What are dreadnoks?
They were Cobra's. They were Zartan's men. Dreadnoughts.
All right, Mike. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. By the way, for those of you in the comic book school community, and I'm looking at you, graphic designers, animators, and musicians, we need some end music to wrap this show up with. We need some transitions. We need slightly better slides. We need your help. So if you are enjoying Comic Book School Live and you have a modicum, or you can do math, we need you for Comic Book School Live. Until next Tuesday, Mike, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.